After the dramatic end of the British Grand Prix, the fifth round of Formula One 2020 was also held at Silverstone Circuit from 7th to 9th August. The 70th Anniversary Grand Prix was held as a commemoration race of Formula One World Championship at Silverstone Circuit, which hosted the first Formula One Grand Prix back in 1950. These are the results of the qualifying session. Again, the first row was logged by the two Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas and Lewis Hamilton, Nico Hülkenberg starting on third, Max Verstappen on fourth, Daniel Ricciardo on fifth, Lance Stroll on sixth, Pierre Gasly on seventh, and Charles Leclerc starting on eighth place, with Alexander Albon on ninth, Lando Norris on 10th, Esteban Ocon on 11th, Sebastian Vettel on 12th, Carlos Sainz on 13th, and Romain Grosjean starting on 14th place. George Russell on 15th, Daniel Kvyat on 16th, Kevin Magnussen on 17th, and Nicholas Latifi starting on 18th place. The last row was locked by the two Alfa Romeos of Antonio Giovinazzi on 19th and Kimi Raikkonen starting on 20th place. At the start of the race, it was a nice start for all the racers, and it was an amazing start for both the Mercedes racers. Both the Mercedes racers, Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas, were going wheel to wheel at the start of the race. But it was not at all a good start for Sebastian Vettel. At turn 1 of the first lap, Sebastian Vettel went spinning away and he lost many places because of it. As there were tyre temperature problems during the British Grand Prix, in this race tyre temperature problems for both the Mercedes racers were also seen, and they were struggling for grip on their medium compound tyres. Max Verstappen, who was on third place, was trying to catch the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. At that time, his teammates said to him that the tyre temperatures were going high, so slow down your speed. And this is what Max Verstappen replied. During the 13th lap, Valtteri Bottas made a pit stop, and during the 14th lap, Lewis Hamilton made a pit stop, and Max Verstappen came into the lead of the race. During the 22nd lap, there were again temperature problems seen on the hard compound tyres of Mercedes cars, and still the tyres were only 9 laps older. And on the other hand, Max Verstappen was gliding in front on his 22 laps old hard compound tyres. During the 27th lap, Max Verstappen made a pit stop, but it was a quite slow stop by the Red Bull team, and because of it, Valtteri Bottas took the lead of the race. But he was only half a second ahead of Max Verstappen, and 4 turns later, Max Verstappen overtook Valtteri Bottas, and Max Verstappen again came into the lead of the race. During the 32nd lap, Daniel Ricciardo spun around, and he lost few places because of it. During the 33rd lap, Max Verstappen and Valtteri Bottas both made a pit stop, and Lewis Hamilton came into the lead of the race. It looked like Lewis Hamilton will finish the race without making a pit stop, but during the 42nd lap, he made a pit stop from first place and came out of the pits on fourth place, and he had a lot task to do to come back into the podium places. When Lewis Hamilton came out of the pits, he was 4 to 5 seconds behind Charles Leclerc. Lewis Hamilton was just like flying on his soft tyres, and during the 45th lap, he overtook Charles Leclerc, and the next man on his target was Valtteri Bottas. And during the 45th lap only, Kevin Magnussen retired from the race, and it was the first retirement of the 70th Anniversary Grand Prix. During the 50th lap, There was a battle for second place between Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. Lewis Hamilton overtook Valtteri Bottas and he climbed onto the second place. And on the other hand, Max Verstappen was just like racing in a different world. And at the end of the 52nd lap, Max Verstappen won the race, and it was a first win for Red Bull team this season. After Lewis Hamilton finishing on second place, he equaled Michael Schumacher's record of most podiums, that is 155 podiums in F1 history. These are the results of the race. Max Verstappen registering his first victory of the season, and it was not a Mercedes 1-2, but it was a Mercedes 2-3 with Lewis Hamilton finishing on second and Valtteri Bottas finishing on third place, Charles Leclerc finishing on fourth place, and Alexander Albon finishing on fifth place, and the two racing points of Lance Stroll on sixth and Nico Hülkenberg finishing on seventh place. Esteban Ocon finishing on 8th, and Lando Norris finishing on ninth place. The two AlphaTauris of Daniel Kvyat finishing on 10th, and Pierre Gasly finishing on 11th place, with Sebastian Vettel finishing on 12th, Carlos Sainz on 13th, and Daniel Ricciardo finishing on 14th place. Kimi Raikkonen finishing on 15th, Romain Grosjean on 16th, and Antonio Giovinazzi finishing on 17th place. And the two Williams of George Russell finishing on 18th, and Nicholas Latifi finishing on 19th place. And there was a DNF in front of Kevin Magnussen. Lewis Hamilton also won an extra championship point for the fastest lap of the race. In all, it was an amazing day for Max Verstappen as he won the race, with Lewis Hamilton finishing on second and Valtteri Bottas finishing on third place.
Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe, and do share your suggestions in the comment section.